This is Newcap News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. City Council is moving forward on a campaign promise to take a look at decision-making past and present by administration and management at City Hall. Council expected to pass a motion on Monday to perform a governance audit. Adam McVicker with more on why and what to expect.
It was a question on the minds of Lloydminster residents during October's civic election. Why many decisions considered unfavorable were made by the previous administration. Now, City Council is asking for a third party's perspective on the past and advice for the future through a governance audit.
It will certainly bring to light if there's something we've missed.
Council is exploring the idea of hiring George Cuff for the audit. Cuff, now a consultant, has worked in civic government for over 37 years, serving as the mayor of Spruce Grove, president of AUMA, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities.
He's going to bring forth recommendations. We may not act on all those recommendations. We may act on a few of them, but certainly having a set of eyes from the outside that brings a whole different perspective, but has that experience.
Cuff says there are only two reasons why municipalities bring him in.
We fear that the train has left the tracks and we want to find out, A, has it, and B, what do we do to put it back on the tracks? The second is we're convinced that we can govern differently and better, and so we want George's advice.
During the audit, Cuff will be looking for issues facing City Council and administration affecting direction, policies, and practices.
How do you provide advice to council? How clear is it? How quick are you to jump to the pumps in terms of carrying out council's direction? Whether or not that's what you recommended is neither here nor there, of course. It's a council decision, so I'm curious as to what's the relationship between council and management.
Mayor Albers says the relationship is evolving between the rookie council and administration, while quelling rumors the audit decision brought up a rift in the relationship.
Council's looking for where do we need to go as our job. So I won't say that I don't think there was a tension. I think there was certainly a question of where does everybody fit into this process.
The mayor wouldn't speculate on which policies would be brought to the forefront, whether it be purchasing, expenses, or procurement. However, he's focused on council doing the best they can with what they have over the next 4 years.
But if we as council don't give administration the direction they need at the front end, how can we expect the results we want at the back end?
On Monday, City Council is expecting to finalize details like a timeline as well as allocate $70,000 for the audit to get the process started. Adam McVicker, Newcap News.
The overall market for grain is expected to stabilize this year, say market analysts. They also recommend farmers sell their inventory incrementally. Brian Lentz with more.
We kind of need some production scares, potentially some weather scares to get those markets back up, and I'm optimistic that we can see some of those, but they won't be long-lived.
Speaking at AgriVision's, analyst Brennan Turner says one of the big inhibitors on the market is supply.
We need to work through a fair amount of the supply that's out there, especially in the wheat markets. You're seeing a lot of $6 per bushel handles available across the Western Canadian prairies, and that's not necessarily a profitable margin.
Turner adds farmers can manage their grain stock similar to Wall Street traders to reduce risk and take advantage of small gains.
They'll make sales when they can and lock in those profits and sell in 10, 20, 15% increments of the buckets of shares that they've bought. And so we kind of want to take that same strategy and apply it to the farm in the sense that, okay, you have 100,000 bushels of a product, let's sell 10,000 bushels at a time.
With regards to international trade, Turner says Canada needs to pursue additional trade agreements with Asian countries.
Potentially need a little bit more bilateral trade agreements with likes of Japan and China and whatnot. It's a massive market there that we're potentially missing out on. So, hopefully the federal government can jump into the game and really work some of those Southeast Asian markets.
As for how the market looks for the upcoming year, Turner is hopeful.
There's a lot of grain out there right now, so it's a challenging environment, depressed prices, so to speak. We're kind of in a downtrend cycle, but I think we're kind of getting to that point where demand is now starting to filter back into the market.
Brian Lentz, Newcap News.
The local Big Brothers Big Sisters chapter is looking for more volunteers as part of their 28 members in 28 days initiative. With only a few days left and still half of the spots open, they're calling on the public to help them reach their goal. Chantel Germo reports.
For the second year in a row, Big Brothers Big Sisters have dedicated February to recruitment due to their constantly growing waiting list for mentors and fundraiser volunteers. Any type of person is welcome, as there is flexibility in how each individual can help.
Different time commitments for people depending on what they have available. They'd be matched with child depending on what their interests are, so it's not like we just put them with anyone.
Weed also adds that the most valuable benefit mentors will gain from the kids is to learn how to have fun again, but also provide each child with lifelong experiences.
It provides them with somebody to talk to, a positive role model, somebody to go out and do things with on their own, and develop new interests maybe, and just have that special time.
Mentors are expected to at least meet once a week through either the Big Brothers Big Sisters program, couples match, or in-school mentoring. To find out what would fit you, visit their main office to apply. Chantel Germo, Newcap News.
Well, helicopters, police dogs, marches, drills, runs, defensive tactics, explosives, and classes. That's what the past week has looked like for several high school students in the RCMP Youth Academy. Angie Mellon has more on the celebration of their achievements.
It was a long week of drills and training for the 18 RCMP Youth Academy graduates, but it was a rewarding experience, especially for one graduate who took away the top honor.
It feels really great, to be honest. I don't know, it's just like I wasn't expecting to be valedictorian, but yeah, then they voted me in and I was happy. It felt like it feels really great.
The graduates learned a lot about the RCMP, including the personality traits needed to be one.
I learned how much hard work it takes to become an officer. You really have to be selfless. Like, you have to be able to put someone else's safety in front of your own.
The significance of the academy is one that reaches beyond the students themselves.
Having an academy like this every year is extremely important, not just for the students that are here, but for the schools, school divisions, the communities, as well as the detachment here in town.
The takeaway for the graduates has many dimensions.
The knowledge that they can accomplish anything, no matter how hard the task is, no matter what it is, even if it's something that they're not familiar with, but they have it inside themselves to push forward and achieve whatever goal they set out for themselves.
I'm hoping they're going to take a sense of self-respect, respect for others, accountability, and purpose.
You really grow as you spend the week together. You make friendships, you make bonds, you push each other to limits that you didn't know you had.
As for Amber, she hopes to join the RCMP. After she graduates, of course.
After I'm done school, I am going to Lakeland for university transfer and then hopefully to U of A for criminology.
The plans for the academy next year? Well, that investigation is still ongoing.
Lloydminster RCMP Youth Camp 2017. For the final time. Dismiss!
Angie Mellon, Newcap News.
Well, from an evening of comedy to a pancake breakfast for the whole family, there's a lot going on for the next couple of days. Brian Lentz has the details in this week's What's Happening.
Hello, I'm Brian Lentz, filling in for Heather Klages, and if you're looking to tickle your funny bone this weekend, then stop by the Yuck Yucks Comedy Night tonight at the Lloydminster Golf and Curling Center, featuring 3 top-notch comedians. The doors open at 6 p.m., dinner at 6:30. But leave the kids at home, as this is an adults-only event. Well, if you're looking to get some exercise and help out the local men's shelter this weekend, then participate in the coldest night of the year. Registration begins from 4 to 6 p.m. The walk starts at 5 p.m., followed by a light, warm meal for all walkers and volunteers. Remember, that's at the Grace United Church. Well, if you're looking to really boost your CD collection, then I have a deal for you. We're giving away one single Ultra CD Mega Pack, featuring all sorts of different artists from different genres, such as Bob Marley, George Strait, and Brian Wilson. If you'd like to get in on this deal, then send your name and daytime phone number to tvcontests@newcap.ca. And always, we'd like to thank John with Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. Well, if you're looking to finish off the weekend with a full stomach, then stop by the Legacy Center this Sunday for a hearty pancake breakfast. Tickets can be purchased at the door. Whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a good one. I'm Brian Lentz, and that is What's Happening.
This is Newcap Sports.
The ACAC Women's Volleyball Championships got underway at Lakeland College yesterday, with the hometown Rustlers starting off their provincial championship dream with a big upset, and Lance Phillips was there to take in the excitement.
What a match at the Lakeland Gym Thursday. After a first set loss to Briarcrest, the third-ranked Rustlers settled in, winning the next 3 sets en route to a first match victory and a spot in the conference semifinal Friday.
I'm ecstatic. After the way we played in the first set, we were tight and made a lot of mistakes, but then we rolled. We played our best match of our season when it mattered, and that's what we've been trying to do.
I think we really needed to settle in. We just needed to not make errors and be consistent, just play our game.
The adrenaline that the players had led them to do some things that they don't normally do in the game, so we chatted in between sets and just said, guys, we just got to play our game, settle in, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the crowd, but we got to be smart, and so we need to follow our game plan and be smart with what we're doing. And after that, we didn't make many mistakes, and we settled in and played great.
And this, the noise level in the gym, well, it played a huge factor all night.
The crowd was just phenomenal. The support that we had tonight was crazy.
They really picked us up sometimes, and I think threw them off with their serves, so they missed a couple serves that maybe they wouldn't have if they were in front of their crowd. So it's nice. It's a really good atmosphere to play in.
The women haven't progressed past the first match of the conference tournament since 2013, which gave the match a special undertone.
Trying to get over this hump is a big deal for my 3rd and 4th years, as they haven't gotten through this round yet.
My last 2 years playing, we haven't made it past the first round, so this is huge for a few of us. It's our first time in the semifinal, so it'll be good.
Well, I think it just makes it a little bit sweeter in the end. I mean, these girls have worked so hard, and we have worked together, and to finally get there is a great feeling.
Now that the team's overcome the obstacle of losing, you'd have to think the pressure is off. But feelings are mixed on that point.
I would say the big pressure game, is over, and now we just got to get out there and get the job done.
I don't know if the pressure's ever off. I mean, when you're in these games, you have to execute every point.
The first game's it's really nerve-wracking. You got to get used to everything right away. So now having that out of the way, we're just going to keep rolling, and especially on a big win like that, it's awesome.
This game is just the beginning. We are determined and we are ready, and we don't really care which opponent we get because we are ready to beat whatever people come our way.
Lance Phillips, Newcap Sports, Lloydminster.
Playoffs, not a word many Lloydminster hockey teams are familiar with. Fortunately, the Junior B Bandits are one team that have done the required work to get to the postseason, and last night continued their first round series against Frog Lake. After a big 6-3 win Monday, the Bandits entered Thursday's game down 2-1 in the best-of-7 series, but Lloydminster looked like a completely different team, losing 4-2 to the T-Birds.
Monday we really made it hard on them. Our forecheck was super aggressive. We sealed the walls. The middle was hard to get up. We were banging bodies everywhere. And tonight we had a very similar game plan. And for the most part, we just couldn't get it going.
I just think we just didn't come out of the gate hard like we did the other night. We were ready to go the other night. It was a big game, and tonight I think we came in a little too cocky from the last game and kind of bit us in the butt to start the game off. So.
The Bandits need to get back to that game plan that gave them gave Game 3 a victory, rather. A lot of game plan begins with penalties.
Need to stay out of the box. We seem to lose self-control sometimes and struggle with that a bit. So in order for these guys to give themselves the best chance to win, they're going to have to stay out of the penalty box.
We dominated them that third game, so we know what we got to do in here, and just a matter of guys showing up and doing it.
Game 5 goes tonight in Frog Lake at 8 p.m. with Game 6 being played, if necessary, at the Civic Sunday F5.